What's up, y'all? This your boy Tone Bangles. Shout out to the LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media's Row. And shout out to Marlowe's Corner. Also, I want to send a nice shout out to Ben Saucy Boxing. I hope I got the name right. If not, don't forgive me, brother, if I got your name wrong. But I just watched his video, and I also I had to rewatch the video. I had to rewatch the Wilder versus Tyson Fury match just to get a better clarification on it, because I see it's a lot of mixed emotions and mixed feelings and mixed decisions going on with amongst the brothers, and so I had to do a second take on it just to clarify, to make sure I didn't miss anything or any or that sort of that sort. But I rewatched the fight, man, and I'm gonna keep it honestly real with y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all. Y'all already know I am a Deontay Wilder fan. Y'all already know that off rip. I am Bomb Squad for life. But this is my honest assessment. This is no. I'm not sugarcoating this shit. I'm keeping it real with you. Deontay Wilder edged out that fight, man. When I say he edged out that fight by the skin of his fucking nose, bro. And that's why I'm and that's why I'm not so mad with the draw. To be honest with you, I can take the draw because it was a hell of a fucking fight. Shouts out the big salute to Tyson Fury. He showed that he truly is the motherfucking Gypsy King, man. The guy rose up like Lazarus from the dead in that 12th round. Was it a long count to me? Yes, I do think it was a very long count, but at the same time, man, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. I'm gonna try to give a breakdown to all the rounds that I think Wilder won. The first round, I gave to Wilder. He was more active. He showed more ring. He showed more aggressiveness. He landed to the body more. He was basically the more active puncher. Fury didn't do nothing but a lot of feint. He was a lot of feinting. He was flicking the jab here and there, but it wasn't really connecting. I gave round one to Wilder. Round two was round two could have went either way. I gave that to Wilder also, but it could have went either way. So I kind of left round two out of it because Fury was a little bit active enough. He was shooting the jab. He was throwing the jab quite quite convincingly and stuff like that. But Wilder was still more effective to the body. So I gave round two was a toss up round for me. It could have went either way. Round three, I gave to Wilder. Round three was definitely a Wilder round. Once again, he landed more, especially to the body. He took the jab, and he just showed more aggressiveness, more aggression. Fury can't win rounds just by feinting and flicking around and showing off here, y'all. Y'all just can't give the man, you know what I mean? And then what also helped me judge this fight too, man, I actually turned the volume down because Showtime commentary was just the fucking worst. To be honest with you, man, it almost like I was listening to a 1930s boxing match, man, if you know what I mean. I'm not even gonna get into that. Round three, I gave the Wilder and stuff. I gave the Wilder, and round four, I gave the Fury. Fury clearly won that round. He showed ring bender. He really was outboxing him. He showed a lot of slickness, and Wilder could not connect with that right hand. And he was doing a lot of it. He was doing connecting to the body a little bit, but nevertheless, Fury was more active. You know, he was basically outpointing him that round. So I gave round four to Fury. Round five, I gave to Wilder. Now mind you, rounds are 1 and 3 I already gave the round. So round five, I gave to Wilder also. Wilder was showing that he was good with the jab. I believe that was the round that he broke his nose. I'm not sure. But round five, I gave that one to, I gave it to Wilder. He showed that once again, he was actually, even though he was missing a lot of his shots, he had the more effective shots. He really had the more effective shots. So, and Fury did a couple of things, a little here and there. You know, he'd throw a couple of 1-2s in there, and then he'll try to hold on to him and get up out of there. which was pretty impressive. Fury, don't get me wrong, Fury was doing pretty damn good. He was making Wilder miss a lot of those shots, but nevertheless, Wilder's the more active fighter in that round, and I gave round 5 to Wilder. Now, round 6 all the way up to round 8 was Fury's show. Fury put on it was Fury's show then. Fury was putting on a boxing class. I mean, he was really outpointing Wilder, man, beating him to his own, beating him to the punch, making Wilder miss. It seemed Wilder was very anxious. It seemed he was trying to force shots, was missing shots. He did connect real good to the body in one of those rounds. I believe it was earlier, the 7th or the 8th round, I'm not sure, but those rounds was clearly Fury's round, man. So by that time I gave rounds 4, rounds 6, 7, and 8 to Fury. Yeah, and round 9, of course, was a Wilder round, cause with the knockdown and stuff like that, which was, I scored that a 10-8 round. Fury did get up. He stayed on his toes. He kept boxing him, and he kept flicking the jab and throwing his feints. And he did well. He did well to survive that round. But nevertheless, I gave that round to Wilder, a 10-8 round. Okay. Round 10, I gave to Fury. Once again, Fury came back like he came back like he left something. You know what I'm saying? He was doing good then. He was outpointing Wilder. Wilder was just looking. He was missing hella shots in that round. He really was. You know what I mean? He really was outpointing Wilder that round. He really was. Never during this round had Fury really had Wilder in serious trouble during this whole fight. Wilder was always the aggressor during the whole fight. He always showed his aggressiveness. He always showed that, you know what I mean, he was his game. So note that, guys. But round 10, I gave to Fury. Round 11, I also gave to Fury, man. Fury won that round. It was just a Fury show. He was really, I believe that was one of Wilder's worst rounds, and he wasn't really connected to the body as much, which I wish he should have did, but he didn't. But whatever the case may be, Fury was really he was outboxing him then. He was really getting confident about himself, and I totally gave that round to Fury. Now, round 12, of course, is the round that I had, and I was watching that thing, bro. I was watching it, bro. When Wilder dropped Fury, bro, I made it my business to try to count, and I was watching that clock. Listen, Fury was supposed to got counted out. In any other fight, any other referee, not necessarily any other referee, but I would say any other referee, any other fight, any other circumstances, that guy would have been counted out. The towel would have been thrown in, and it would have been, you know what I'm saying, game over, KO Wilder for the W. But I'm not gonna really throw shade on that second or two that was delayed. Even in my opinion, yes, it was a late count. Nevertheless, I'm not really gonna ponder and sweat on that. Fury did get up, and that motherfucker, he got up like, I swear, like Lazarus, man. He rose from the dead. He got up, he got back in it, man, and he survived, and he actually got him a couple of shots in that fight too. I scored that 10-8 Wilder. Now, mind you, Wilder, after those two 10-8 rounds are equivalent to 4 winning rounds. So all Wilder needed was 3 more winning rounds, which he did won in the round 1, round 3, and round 5. Now, that sounds like 7-5 to me. That's about a 7-5 score to me on Wilder's end. Now, I'm glad it's a draw, because a lot of those rounds, they could have went either way. You know what I mean? A lot of those, like some of those rounds that I say, well, that could have I gave that to Wilder. A lot of those rounds could have went either way. But at the same time, you know, and some of those Fury rounds, it kind of went either way, because it really was not a lot of activity. It was a lot of posturing, a lot of feinting going on, man. But it is what it is, y'all. So, like I say, I'm happy with the draw. Both guys really put on a hell of a show for us, man. The fight was worth it. It was the money, the pay-per-view money was worth it. All the promotions and everything lived up to the hype, bro. And hats off to both men. These guys showed us that it's time to step up, fellas. If these guys can do it, anybody else can. And I give a big shout out to both of them. And I give a shout out to boxing. Like, this was great for the sport. And that's all I got for y'all. Shout out to the LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media's Row. And shout out to Marlo's Corner. Salute, y'all.